Now, I knew this film was going to get nominated for some Academy Awards, but I thought it was going to be for some technical awards. And now some Oscar pundits believe that F1 might actually score a Best Picture nod. And if that's the case, then it's time for me to review F1 before the nominations are announced. I'm Brad, this is Watch Rate Heart, and here is my review.
Man, it sounds like you need a new board.
I need a new driver.
Looking to repeat his blockbuster and awards success from Top Gun Maverick, Joseph Kosinski directed F1 the movie starring Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, and Kerry Condon. Now, before I can get into the ratings, I want to note right here, all scores are as of January 20th, 2026, and they are more than likely to change if it gets any Oscar attention. It has a Letterboxd score of 3.7 out of 5, an IMDb of 7.7 out of 10, a Rotten Tomatoes of 82% fresh, and a Metacritic of 68. Of course, there are no accolades as of right now. It is an Oscar season, so I'm expecting it to get a bunch of awards for special effects, sound, stuff like that. But the reason why I'm reviewing today is because it looks like it might actually get a Best Picture nomination. Okay, so when it comes to F1, honestly, the first thing that F1 reminded me of was this 2001 movie, Sylvester Stallone, called Driven. And spoiler alert, the movie's horrible. Don't watch it. It is not only badly acted, it also has some of the most laughably bad plot points in the film. I think there's a point where two characters in the film race each other on the streets of Manhattan in an F1 car, which I'm like, what the hell? That won't work, but okay, sure. It's basically a good version of that movie. But what's good about it? First off, the film is a pure theatrical experience. Excellent visuals, excellent sound, excellent music. The audio-visual experience of this film is excellent. It's one of the few films that I kind of actually wished I watched in the theater, or I had a nice big TV with really good surround sound to watch. This is definitely a film, if you want to show up your theater system, you want to show off your 4K Blu-ray player with your really nice TV and really good soundscape, this is the movie to do it. I think also the four main leads of this film really carry the narrative, just through their likability and charm. I mean, Brad Pitt can do that effortlessly, but there's also actors like Javier Bardem and Kerry Condon who are very good in the film. So if you're looking just for a pure charm fest or likability fest, you've got that too. So, what have I not talked about? And that is the story and characters. And to be absolutely honest with you, there really isn't much to talk about because this film is a sports cliche fest. It really is. The old guy comes back in for one last race to teach the new kid how to do it. The new kid learns stuff along the way, learns to humble himself, and then there's actually a bit point that's a lot like Major League in a sort of way, strangely enough. So there's a lot of stories that this film apes, and it does it pretty competently. I guess the best way to describe F1 is that it is a very gorgeous, competent one of those sports movies. That's it. That's really all it is. It's just a really good-looking theater piece. If you want to show off your audio-visual system in your house, this is probably the best way to do it. This film looks and sounds great. But if you're looking for a great narrative and story and characters, this movie doesn't have it. But honestly, does it need it? No, not really. So overall, I'm going to give F1 the movie 3 stars out of 5. It's a fun movie. It's definitely an enjoyable one, but the enjoyment is more of the theatrical experience of seeing the visuals and the sounds and the music meld together so well than it really is about the story. The four main leads are actually very good in the film. They really carry the narrative just through their likability and charm. But if I'm being absolutely honest, when it comes to story, there really isn't one that's all that interesting. It's as cliched as any of the other sports movies are. If you want just a gorgeous, competent, fun movie, hey, F1 the movie isn't so bad. So overall, 3 stars out of 5 for me for F1 the movie. Now, with every episode of Watch Rate Heart, I not only give you my opinions on films, I also give you the opinions of the film from the Letterboxd community. This first one is from Maverick 2005. Maverick gives it 4 stars out of 5 with a heart, and Maverick says, "This film was fun, especially with a good friend who also loves racing." I mean, yes, I would say so, but I think it's because of the spectacle of it as well. So if you have a friend who's into racing especially, I think they might very much like it. This next review is from Wakoshi. Wakoshi gives it 4 stars out of 5, and Wakoshi says, "It's worth more when watched in the theater. You won't even realize the 2.5 hours have passed, and it's a must-see, especially if you're an F1 fan." Yeah, see, it looks like if people are F1 fans, you might really want to watch this film. This next review is from Justine. Justine gives it 3 stars out of 5, and Justine says, "I guess I'm more into aircraft laughs than Race Cars, or maybe Top Gun Maverick was just a superior film. Still enjoyed some parts, though. I think it's kind of unfair to compare these two together, Top Gun Maverick and F1, because they're pretty much different films in sort of ways. I think the only thing they have in common is that they're blockbuster films meant to entertain and really nothing more. I would say Top Gun is a little bit better, but not by much. And this last review is from, is it Lucy or Lucci? It might be Lucy. Lucy gives it 3.5 stars out of 5, and Lucy says, I'm a sucker for racing movies, so I couldn't help but enjoy it, even though, let's be honest, it was forgettable. Very fun, thrilling, has handsome men and likable characters, and an overall very enjoyable movie. Seeing that it's produced by Apple, I was surprised by how good it was. At the start, when the F1 logo appeared in the middle of the screen, it felt like such a vibe, to be honest. Also, this was much better than Gran Turismo from 2 years ago, and I still need to watch Speed Racer. Yeah, I will say this is definitely better than Gran Turismo, both visually and story-wise and character-wise. I absolutely agree with that. I haven't seen Speed Racer, but what I will say, if there is one film that I think does this type of film a lot better, and it's the film Rush, which Ron Howard did, I believe, about 10 years ago. That was a great movie, and the racing in that one was phenomenal. So if you like this movie and you haven't seen Rush, go see Rush. Such a great movie. So in review, F1 the movie is just a pure theatrical experience. It's got great visuals, great sound, great music. Everything audio-visual wise is just great in this film. The 4 main leads are charismatic enough to just carry the narrative through, but honestly, it's as cliched as any other sports movie, and if you don't like those cliched sports movies, you're not going to like this one. I guess really the only thing I could say is it's just a gorgeous one of those. And that's basically it, really. It's a fun movie, but like Lucy said, it's pretty forgettable. But if you have a really nice theater system and you want to show it off, you should buy this on 4K Blu-ray and show it off, and this will probably be the best movie to do it in. And that's it for this episode of Watch Rate Heart. Before I go, as always, let me ask you a question. What are your thoughts on blockbuster money-making films getting a shot at Best Picture at the Oscars? I watched Top Gun Maverick a couple years back, and after I watched it, I was kind of surprised it got nominated for Best Picture. But it seems like the Oscars, what they're doing now is in one of those 10 slots that they have for Best Picture, they're putting a money-making film in there. They're just one that just incredibly popular, had a lot of box office, but was also considered a good movie. Which at this point, if F1 does it, fine, I guess. But I wish they were better films, to be absolutely honest. I think some will say that Sinners would be that movie this year, but I don't think Sinners that made that much money. I don't know if it turned a profit. I'm not entirely sure about that. Do I have a problem with it? Not really. But again, winning Best Picture, being nominated for Best Picture, has not been a barometer of a quality film for me in such a long time. So in one way, I kind of get why people are like, why? But another, it's like, who cares? If you liked any of the reviewers I've highlighted in this episode, you can check the video description for a link to their Letterboxd profile, and be sure to give them a follow and let them know that Brad from Watch Rate Heart sent you. You can follow me at Letterboxd and X at Watch Rate Heart. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and share with your friends. I'm Brad from Watch Rate Heart. Thank you for watching, and remember, they all watch and rate movies, but you give them the heart that makes them live forever.